Ladies and gentlemen, live from who knows where, it is time for the Jesse T Show. And now, here's Jesse.
Hey, woo, baby. That's right, we're back on the air and everywhere in Southern California, broadcasting on our huge, gigantic, massive digital broadcasting TV and radio network in care of www.thepowerofvoices.com. Good to have you along with us here as we touch bases with you and touch each other verbally. It's good to have you along with us here on a Wednesday in Southern California, for that matter, all across the nation. Already on the East Coast, it's nighttime, cold and raining. Here in Los Angeles, though, it's nighttime and it's kind of cool, but it's not raining, so we're getting some good weather here. Typical weather going into December. But it's good to be chatting with you today, of course, on all of the fine broadcasting facilities that we radiate out to, like radiation. We radiate out to some great social networking sites through thepowerofvoices.com on YouTube Live. Also, don't forget about www.thepowerofvoices.com. You can catch us there on the radio feed and the live broadcast feed as well. And we don't want to forget about our friends over at Bamboozle and also Instagram, Snapchat, as well as Facebook. We'll talk about that in a second. Upstream, UPeak. So there we go. We're out there and probably on about another dozen other as this thing kind of bridges off and connects like a matrix, connects and connects and connects and grows and grows and grows. It's good to have you here with us halfway through the week, on the way to the weekend. Can you believe it already? We are almost already midway through the month of December. I mean, this is December 7th. December 7th. Now, if you don't know the importance of December 7th, I'm going to share that with you here. And I know you do know the importance of the month of December, but I do still want to touch bases with you here and let you know that we are also on our AVTV Live website at www.aventertainmentlive.com, as well as two Facebook sites, facebook.com/Jesse Terrero, facebook.com/The Power of Voices. So we're trying to get the word out to you and have you participate with us in every way that you can. We invite you to chime in. Let us know where you're checking in from here on the Facebook feeds. And if you got something you want to say about what we're going to be talking about today, or if you've got something that you want to market or promote or get a little freebie action going here, we're all about that, helping you out. As we help you, you can help us. We help each other together. It's kind of a collective kind of thing. So please feel free to chime in and let us know what's happening and share it out too as well so that we can get all the information out as quickly as possible. Wednesday in Southern California means we're halfway through the week, which also means that we are going to be talking real estate. It's Real Estate Wednesday here in and on the Jesse T Show. Also, we're going to talk about getting jobs, some good jobs out there. I've got some great jobs from Google to talk about and some jobs to make some quick cash. So we got a job for you, and that's going to be coming at you here in this hour as well. But today is December 7th. Now, what is the significance of December 7th? Okay, I'm going to give you a hint. Now, I know you can guess it. World War II. Okay, what happened on the day December 7th, 1941? The day that will live in infamy. You got it? Aha, I knew you did. Yep, it is when Pearl Harbor was bombed by the Japanese, Sunday, December 7th, 1941. And this was the day that Roosevelt, President Franklin Delano Roosevelt, he was at the White House, lounging around upstairs in his favorite room. There's an oval room upstairs, not the Oval Office, tinkering around with his stamp collection. It was morning in Oahu, in Pearl Harbor, but in Washington, D.C., it was the evening. And President Franklin Delano Roosevelt loved his stamps. He was an avid stamp collector. And then he got the word. He got a phone call. And then an assistant walked in and told him that Pearl Harbor was attacked. Now, they didn't have the instant communication we have. So it took 23 and a half hours later for FDR to get the whole and complete information and history of what just happened over the previous 23 and a half hours. And that, of course, is when Japan attacked us at Pearl Harbor and brought us into the war. And this is the great speech that he talked about. And it is one of the most famous speeches ever in the history of the United States of America. In fact, all his speech writers were not in Washington. They were all, it's Christmas time, essentially, in December. So he had let them all go. There wasn't any great speeches that were going to be done. So they were all at home. They weren't at work. They weren't doing anything. So he had to construct the proper words to explain to the American public what just happened. Now, everybody didn't have a radio. There was no TV yet. No TV. None of the communication devices we have today, smartphones or computers or iPads, there were no listening devices. There was nothing like that. All there was the newspaper, magazines, and the radio. The radio became something that was used absolutely beautifully by FDR and Franklin Delano Roosevelt. So he had to write a speech that would deliver what just happened at Pearl Harbor to the American public. And it had to be perfect. So he put together a 6-minute speech. Now, there was one senator that was left in town and hadn't gone back home for the December, holidays. And that one senator walked in, looked at the speech, and argued with FDR and said, it's got to be longer, it's got to be longer, it's got to be longer. And FDR said, well, reread it and look at it. So he reread it and he looked at it, and he agreed that the speech was perfect in the length of the speech, but he changed a few words. So this was the speech that FDR gave going after 23 and a half hours, finally getting all the communiques and information. This is what he put together. One of the world's greatest speeches, certainly in the United States of America. Franklin Delano Roosevelt said, yesterday, December 7th, 1941, a date which will live in infamy. The United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The United States was at peace with that nation, and at the solicitation of Japan was still in conversation with its governments and its emperor, looking toward the maintenance of peace in the Pacific. Indeed, 1 hour after Japan, air squadrons had commenced bombing in the American island of Oahu. The Japanese ambassador to the United States and his colleagues delivered to our Secretary of State a formal reply to a recent American message. While this reply stated that it seemed useless to continue the existing diplomatic negotiations, it contained no threat or hint of war or armed attack. It will be recorded that the distance of Hawaii from Japan makes it obvious that the attack was deliberately planned many days or even weeks ago. During the intervening time, the Japanese government has deliberately sought to deceive the United States by false statements and expressions of hope for continued peace. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. I regret to tell you that very many Americans' lives have been lost. In addition, American ships have been reported torpedoed on the high seas between San Francisco and Honolulu. Yesterday, the Japanese government also launched an attack against Malaya. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Hong Kong. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Guam. Last night, Japanese forces attacked the Philippine Islands. Last night, Japanese forces attacked Wake Island. And this morning, the Japanese attacked Midway Island. Japan has therefore undertaken a surprise offensive extending throughout the Pacific arena. The facts of yesterday and today speak for themselves. The people of the United States have already formed their opinions and well understand the implications to the very life and safety of our nation. As Commander-in-Chief of the Army and Navy, I have directed that all measures be taken for our defense, but always will our whole nation remember the character of the onslaught against us. Is that amazing? 6.5 minutes, that speech. December 7th, 1941. A date which will live in infamy. Unbelievable. That brought us into the war, World War II, and for 4 to 6 years, we fought that war, lost almost 1 million lives in our servicemen and women, because many women served in the military on hospital ships at that time, and brought us into World War II, brought us into Europe, and brought us into Japan. So I thought that would be something that would be interesting, and I wanted you to know about it because this is a very important date in the history of our great nation. And there's lots of information out there now. They're releasing lots of new type of photos and films, and all kinds of new newsreels are being released. The date which will live in infamy. Unbelievable. Absolutely love it. This is the greatest nation that God ever created. And we now fight for our right to be the world leader and to show the way to the light and to never waver towards evil, but to always, always strive to be very, very compassionate, empathetic, understanding, helpful, and if we have to carry a big stick, we do that well once in a while. So, all right, well, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, and he signed the war against Japan, the declaration of war, on December 8th, 1941. All right, this is the Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday. You are entering the zone, the world, according to Torero, and you're going to get straight on the point. And straight on the point right there. We're moving ahead, talking about some real estate right now. So, a couple of things have come up here in the last couple of days, which I think are really interesting. And that is home prices in 2017 are probably going to go up. So if you're looking to buy a home right now, you've got to buy something as soon as possible because the prices are going to continue to rise through the 2017 year, the first year of President-elect or President Donald Trump. The real estate sector in the United States is just exploding everywhere. And we're seeing, especially in areas like Southern California, the home prices jumping. And I don't see that changing at all. Supply is there's not a lot of supply out there. So the demand is really high. And the reason why the demand is really high, you can get a fixed rate of interest for under 3%. A fixed rate of interest for 30 years for under 3%. That is absolutely unheard of. And that's forcing the market to be squashed down and tightened up, and is forcing the funnel of higher prices to be popping up off the top. And that's what's happening. And as far as like the Federal Reserve is concerned, they're probably not going to do anything on the interest rates right now. Maybe not till the later part of 2017. Though unemployment is down, they really can't offset the debt that we're in. And we are in such tremendous debt, almost 20 trillion, and over 100 trillion of deferred debt for later. So we really don't see the the Fed raising the rate too much, even though you're starting to hear that they might. They're really not going to raise it that much. Maybe they might raise it 0.25 basis points at the very max, but that's a quarter, and that's too much. So we're going to see still very, very low interest rates. So it's really still a great time to buy a house. While the prices are at their price now, don't wait any longer. Buying a house now is really important because with the interest rates being so low, you can buy more house for your money. You can invest in something, a neighborhood that perhaps you might have thought you were not able to get into because the rates are so low. So the same kind of money that you're investing can buy you more. In other words, you get more cluck for your buck. And so that's basically what we're seeing out of the Fed right now in that respect. The other thing that we're also seeing here, and that I wanted to chat about real quick in terms of the real estate business, there's a couple things here that I think are so very important. Since the post-election has happened right now, are the mortgage rates, are they going to really soar up? According to Bloomberg, they probably aren't. The impact of higher mortgage rates on the housing market. We don't want higher mortgage rates because that'll slow down a major sector in the United States of America right now. That's really on a positive growth factor. We're starting to see a little more foreclosures out there on the low side in some of the first-time buyer markets. But we're not seeing a massive amount of foreclosures like we did in 2008, 2009, and therefore, and then on. So what we have to understand is that as the pre-election, the post-election becomes President Donald Trump and he inherits the White House, we still have this from 2015 into 2016 into 2017 still kind of holding steady. It'll be somewhere around the end of 2017, the beginning of 2018, where we'll see some interest rate differences at that point. Especially if true job creation starts happening at the end of the first year of President Donald Trump. Remember now, any president in that first year, they've got to set their budget, write their plan, set their budget, pitch it to Congress. Congress has got to vote on it. The Senate has to vote on it. And then it has to be implemented. So all of that process takes way into September, October, November of any president's first year before any of those policies kick in. Okay? So the things that he was talking about during the election, if he does some of those things, they won't kick in till later on in the year 2017. And that's when we'll start to see some more growth. And like he's doing right now with the $50 billion investment that the largest telecommunications company in Japan, of all things, look at that, Japan is promising 50,000 new jobs in America. Saying hi to Jeff Langton, my brother, baby. Thanks a lot, Jeff. Love you, man. Jesse Andrew, my son. Hey, thanks a lot for having us on. Christopher Klein, Edmund Droulet. Edmund Droulet is a great director. Does a lot of documentaries. He's got some good projects coming up here. His most recent project was the Banksters Project. You can catch it on YouTube. Look for Edmund Droulet. And it's a terrific project. It talked about Barry Madoff, who made off with America. He did about 2 or 3 years of research into this, and Edmund has connected lots of dots there that would be very surprising as to how the 2008 and 2009 subprime blew up. So that's a terrific movie. You might want to watch it. You'll learn a lot about that. Thanks all for having us on, Edmund. Cindy Sauer, my co-director of the Coalition Against Human Trafficking, is on. Thanks, Cindy Sauer. Appreciate that. She is a terrific lady who's put a lot of time and effort into the Northeast San Fernando Valley in order to squash down and work very hard on human trafficking and pimp issues, and also lots of illegal dumping and the homelessness. So these are some of the big problems that plague the city of Los Angeles, and she's my partner, and proud of her. She does a great job. One of the things you want to do when you are qualifying or you're thinking about buying a house, you want to get pre-approved. You've got to get pre-approved first. It makes no sense to go knocking on doors looking at property if you're not pre-approved. Just lost a battery here on one of my lights. If you're not pre-approved, okay? Pre-approval means that you have your money in the bank. So with that respect, in terms of having the money in the bank, there's a process to go through in terms of the pre-approval. And you have to get that going now. It gives you a great leverage position when you're out there looking for a house to buy or any property, commercial or industrial. It gives you a terrific position of leverage when you're pitching an offer through your broker or your agent to the other broker or agent who represents the seller or owner. If you can say, look, we can close in 20 days, 15 to 20 days, because we have our cash together. It just was a matter of finding the property and the house passing all of the disclosures and all the inspections. So you see how strong of a position you're put in, which can allow you to win in this kind of very squeezed marketplace where there's not lots of housing supply on the market. It puts you in a position because you are probably going to be competing against others for that same property. You can almost rest assured. And so you want to be able to put yourself in the best position. Obviously, if somebody has cash, they're going to be in a better position because they can close in 10 to 14 days. But if you are pre-approved, now I'm not talking just a pre-approval process. I'm actually saying you got to get completely pre-approved so that your loan, your money is set. And we do that by basically a couple of things. We do all this pre-work. We make sure that your credit gets pulled and we see where your credit is. Because your credit report is going to tell us where we have to fix things. And then from that point, we fill out a loan application, collect the 3 months of bank statements, your driver's license and social security card for identification, collect any 401k accounts that you have, the last summaries, any investment accounts or retirement accounts. Also collect your employment history and your employment and job verification forms, get those signed. And we put all this paperwork together along with a couple of years of tax returns, 3 years if you're self-employed, 2 years if you're a W-2 employee, with your W-2s, of course. And we put all this together and we actually submit it. We submit that as a loan so that when we get the approval back, all we have is a set of conditions that we have to meet. We meet those conditions and you're red hot and rolling, because you see what happens is your package is 100% done. So now we can show that off as a prized possession, to a seller and say, look, we're ready to go. So that's why you should pick us over somebody else. All right, so pre-approval is very, very important. That is the first step on the road to being able to get a property that you like. So always remember to get yourself pre-approved. Now, I can help you out there. Jesse Terrero, I've been in business as a broker and a real estate agent originally for almost 40 years, and a loan specialist for over 20 years. So I can help you in these areas. You can go to our facebook.com/broker, Jesse Terrero broker site, facebook.com/Jesse Terrero broker, and to get some information there off our Facebook page, or you can give us a call at 818-800-1343. That's 818-800-1343. One of the things that Donald Trump has done, he's completely changed the game on everything. We're looking for more growth in this country. And that's good for American people. More economic growth is what is needed to get us going and jumpstart our economy so a recession doesn't take place in 2017. And one of the things that Donald Trump brings to the bank is this excitement in the business world. And no matter how you might feel about business and corporations, that's who employs most Americans. Small business, medium business, and corporations. So when you start looking at growth, it's important that we have positive economic growth, more than just 1%, 1.6%. We've got to get to 3 and 4% growth. If we can get there, then what happens is people do more hiring, raises happen, bonuses happen. That means people have more money. They spend more money out in the consumer world, and they buy houses. They sell their house and buy up to the next level. Secondary buyers. So growth is something that's really important. And I was reading something that, that crazy guy, Jim Cramer, Mad Money. If you don't know who he is, he's had a show on cable TV for some time, Mad Money. It airs on Monday. And what he was saying about this crazy growth in terms of how Donald Trump has changed things. Basically, he said in this article that he's never seen the positive outcome happen so quickly in the stock market and NASDAQ in terms of the shoulders, rested upon the shoulders of a president-elect. He hit the growth that he's seeing that will propel us into 2017 and trying to solve some of these debt problems in 2018 and these long-term debt problems. According to Jim Cramer, he says he's never quite seen this happen before on a president-elect. So even guys like him who are consultants to many people, even they are very positive about what may be happening here in the economic factors of the marketplace. And that's really important to us in real estate, because the better the growth, the more money is available, and the banks ease up on the credit. See, that's been the problem. The credit crunch has been the problem. It's not that you can't get a loan. You can get a loan. That's no problem, but it's this collapsing, this squeezing down of the credit crunch that took place here over the last 7 or 8 years. So as we start to see that open up a little bit, more and more and more through positive growth economically, that means so many more people like you can buy a house. And the banks will give you a loan. And so, some good things there to look at. Coming up in just a few, we're going to go and look for a job for you. We're going to go and see if we can find a place where you can make some economic growth and money. So don't go away. We'll be back with you in just a second on the Jesse T Show. Hey, back with you now on the Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday from 5 to 6, talking a little bit of real estate there and some of the good things that we're looking for in 2017 and positive economic growth, which stimulates the whole marketplace. Interest rates still being very, very low. It's the best time to get a house right now because the supply is really small, but the interest rates are really low. So you want to buy it right now before the prices go up. That's why it's the best time to get a house right now, or any kind of property for that matter. Because as the interest rates go up and more supply comes on the market, what basically happens is the price will still start to rise just at a slower pace, and the interest rates start growing. So you start really affecting yourself in a negative way in terms of the dollars you're willing to spend on a monthly basis and for your down payment. So let's get on the action right there at facebook.com/Jesse Terrero broker, or 818-800-1343, and I'll be happy to take all your calls and get you pre-approved for a loan before you even start thinking about going out to buy something. Hey, and it's all free. That's what we do here with me, Jesse T. Right now, looking for some jobs. It's I Got a Job for You. That's what we do on Wednesday. We spend half the show talking about real estate, and then we spend the other half of the show talking about jobs. And jobs are important. I know they're important to folks like you and me, and they're important to everybody, because with a good job, you can have a great Christmas. With a bad job, you probably will end up having no Christmas. So, jobs are really an important factor, and there is lots of employment out there. This is a crazy thing. There is lots of, if you're hunting for jobs. Sometimes, though, you just got to look in the right places. That's really the key. Looking in the right places for jobs and finding some good jobs. So I came across some really cool information. Now, if you are in college, this is directly to the millennials, and for those of you who have gone back to continue your education in a different environment, one of the things that's happening right now for new grads that it's unbelievable, and I didn't know this. I knew an engineering degree was always one of the best degrees you can get, and I knew that high tech, of course, is ringing in the air. I mean, that's really where the big jobs are. But I didn't know all the incentives that they get in this high-tech engineering industry. Companies like Facebook and Google in 2017, this is what they're offering new grads. So listen to me closely, because this is where you really should be looking to extend your education or get your education. Because some of these major companies, I didn't realize they don't skimp when it comes to starting salaries. And the other exciting perks, we've heard about them here or there, but I didn't realize these. According to a recent poll, Facebook, Google, Snapchat, Twitter, just some of the companies are offering new graduates six-figure annual salaries. This is new graduates. These are rookies coming in. And that doesn't include all the extras and the stock options and the signing bonuses. I had no idea that they had signing bonuses. It's unbelievable. As of Friday, there were, let me give you an example. A poll that was recently conducted as this guy was finishing up his final semester at Purdue University, a new graduate, and he's going to be working for a Seattle-based startup called Cure Alate. Okay, as of Friday, he received nearly 600 responses, 290 from new grads and 298 from interns about offers received for the state start dates in 2017. In other words, this guy, he picked a job at Cure Alate, but he also was part of a poll that was taken of the types of responses and the new grads and new interns that these major corporations are looking for. And this was just a one week kind of quick little poll. The findings we're making, essentially, it comes down to this. What the data showed, Amazon, now check this out. Amazon, their annual base salary starting for a new grad, we're talking a rookie, not somebody with experience, $103,000 a year. Their stock options are worth $16,200 a year. In other words, they'll give you $16,000 worth of stock options. Signing bonus is anywhere from $26,000 to $52,000. So if you get a job at Amazon doing something in this high-tech world, you're going to make $103,000 on an average and get what could be about a $52,000 signing bonus. I had no idea they were doing this. Apple's annual base salary is $110,000. Their stock options are worth $12,500. Their signing bonus is up to $40,000, from $10,000 to $40,000. They will pay new grads to come in when they hire you. That's what you'll get to work at Apple. Bloomberg, annual base salary, $130,000. That's the financial tech business. $130,000. You realize how much money that is? I mean, if you're a single woman or a single man and you just graduated and you, let's say, have an undergraduate degree, we're not talking master's degrees here. We're talking, BSs in some sort of high-tech industry, right? Maybe even an engineering degree, all right? You're talking $130,000 a year? Well, let me see. That's about almost $3,000 a week gross. Uncle Sam in the state of California, if you're living here, they'll take about $1,200 of that. So you're going to end up having $2,000, just almost $2,000 a week. That's $8,000 a month. There are jobs out there, guys, that pay extra well to people who have an education. Facebook, $107,000 annual base salary to a rookie with stock options of $37,500. My goodness. To sign you up and get you employed, they're going to offer you $37,000 of stock options at Facebook. Imagine where that's going to go in 15 years. That $37,000 might be just worth $3 million. The signing bonus is anywhere from $75,000 to $100,000. Goldman Sachs, the financial institution, their annual base salary for a rookie is $85,000 a year straight out of college with a signing bonus of $10,000. Google will pay you $112,000 a year with $55,000 of stock options and almost $60,000 of signing bonuses. LinkedIn, $120,000 a year, $37,500 in stock options and $10,000 signing bonus. Microsoft will pay you $107,000 with $30,000 stock options and $50,000 signing bonus. Snapchat, I bet you didn't know this about Snapchat. They'll pay you $120,000. We're talking new grads, rookies in the marketplace, people who have never worked but have an education in this field, okay? $80,000 of stock options per year. $20,000 signing bonus. Uber. If you go work for Uber in the corporate division, not driving, you go work for Uber, they will pay you $110,000 a year in the high-tech industry, part of Uber, you know, the advancement of software, the advancement of apps, the advancement of all that stuff, right? They'll pay you up to $110,000 a year, $37,500 in stock options every year. That's Uber. Twitter give you $120,000 and $37,500 in stock options every year, signing bonus. Yelp. Did you ever think that Yelp would do this for you? My goodness, Yelp. They'll give you $110,000 a year base salary, a stock option of $30,000 a year, and a signing bonus up to $30,000 when you sign up. So, you know, guys, I'm telling you, you gotta get some education in the area of high tech, app building, these types of things, engineering, okay, and that stuff, because that's where you're going to make the gravy train. This is just first year graduates, and it doesn't necessarily mean you have to have a master's degree. That's the beautiful thing about it. You know, you'd figure you'd have to have a master's degree, right? No. This is a Bachelor of Science degree. So if you know how to do this kind of stuff, you have the option of making a ton of money. A ton of money. We're talking gobs of money. Can you imagine being single, making $150,000 a year, not having to raise your family yet or anything like that because you haven't started a family yet? That's a mind-boggling thing. You're talking a ton of money. So I just wanted to kind of give you that information because I got a job for you. Every Wednesday right here on the Jesse T Show from 5 to 6, we talk about real estate and we talk about jobs because they both work hand in hand. Because when you get that job that I got for you, you're going to come back to me, Jesse T, and I'm going to help you buy a house. I don't care, anywhere in California. I'll help you buy a house anywhere in the country. I got associates all across the country that I've done business with over 40 years. So look at, we'll get you pre-approved, you get that great job, and man, you are off and running. Okay, so very cool stuff there. And I got a job for you. Hopefully you got some information out of that. Now, I wanted to look at some things that you can do to make some quick cash. It's like pocket change, okay? You can be an image reviewer for Shutterstock. You know who Shutterstock is. Shutterstock is all those stock photographs, okay? And you look at a bunch of stock photographs from Shutterstock, and you add little cool sayings to it, like typing a phrase that might be hipster girl applying mascara in bathroom. So you can be an image reviewer for Shutterstock. And being an image reviewer for Shutterstock can make you lots of extra money. We're looking at, you can work from home for about 25 to 30 hours per week. You'd be on a freelance basis. They offer millions of royalty-free photos, illustrations, and videos, and has openings for work from home, editorial, image, and illustration viewers. I like that idea. That's kind of a cool idea. So, you know, especially if you're into photography and you like that, you can get paid from Shutterstock to review photos and add cool little sayings to them. Another thing you can do to make some extra money is there's a company called Stash, Stash, online. Anyone can use Stash to start investing. You don't have to have an MBA or even make it all the way through the economics school to understand how to invest with this app. You just choose from a set of simple portfolios reflecting your beliefs, interests, and goals, and it does the rest. And they'll give you a $5 bonus every time you invest something. So it's really that simple. There's another quick little cool company that you can make some extra money, earn up to $95 a survey. And the name of this company is called VIP Voice and Ipsos Panel. VIP, VIP, Voice, and Ipsos Panel. What you do is they send you to do surveys, up to $95 a survey. And the survey can take maybe 10 or 15 minutes to do. So that's another company you can earn some extra, spending cash. Another company that I saw here that you could earn $100 from Psoriasis, which is Psoriasis, and Psucks, Psucks. Psoriasis sucks. Psoriasis sucks. All right. So now what they do, they have as many as 7.5 million Americans living with this disease. So I guess it's psoriasis. Okay, thank you very much. Medical terms, I'm not. Psoriasis sucks. Now I got it. Yes. What was I doing? Hey, that's the language according to Torero. Psoriasis sucks. So with 7.5 million people living with this disease, about 2.5% of us, there's a lot of people that have this disease. Now you can get a little payback if you're suffering from this. You can earn up to $5 to $100 taking online surveys and contribute to the advancements in the medical treatment. You can earn money by watching movie previews. And they'll pay it right to your PayPal account, swagbucks.com, swagbucks.com. You watch movies, you make money. Very easy to do. You're watching movies anyways, you can earn up to a couple $100 a month doing that. And in some parts of this country, that's your rent payment. Another place that you can make some extra money at, and this is just quick cash kind of money. The other things we talked about was a more standard kind of foundational funds, but this is quick cash, doing the things that you're already doing. If you want to be an Uber driver partner, you make money doing that. Uber pays very well, and you can earn $100 a day every day. That's $500 a week. If you work 5 days a week, $500 a week. So that's 500 times 50 weeks. That's $25,000 a year, just driving around. Okay, or more. That's the thing. These are just the basic, minimal things that you can earn in terms of that extra spending cash. Let's see if we can find a couple more. You can tell this company what consumers want. By telling this company what consumers want, the Nielsen company, Nielsen, Nielsen, which has been a company that's rated, that has puts ratings behind, puts ratings behind different programs that are on TV, what's popular, what's not. Nielsen will have you help them rate different formats of entertainment directly from your mobile phone. directly from your iPhone or your Android. So you might want to look at Nielsen, and they'll pay you extra cash. They'll pay you up to $50 for every time you do something with them. Empty your closet and sell all your stuff you don't have. That's a way to make some extra cash. Sell all your old college textbooks. That's another way to make some extra cash. Be a cat and dog sitter. This is a great side job. You earn about $40 an hour doing that. Another side job that you might want to look into as we end up here. You can start a blog. And with your blog, you can start a blog and make some money utilizing your blog. And it's just a matter of getting people to come see your blog. All right, so these are just some ways to make some extra money. Go to Motive Investing, MOTIF Investing. It's a unique among online brokers because instead of picking individual stocks, you invest in a cluster of stocks, usually 20 to 30 from a specific field. And if you open up a new account with $1,000, they'll kick you back $100. So always there's ways to make extra money. You just got to kind of think out of the box. And if you're going to go to college and you're getting an education or going back to extend your education, what you want to do is you want to get into that high-tech industry. Because as I said, it's mind-blowing how much money, stock options that you can earn. It just blew me away. So hopefully that helped you out today there. And I got a job for you here on the Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday from 5 to 6. As we move halfway through the week, talked about a little real estate, and it's a good time to buy and how you should put that process together in terms of a mortgage application and get that going, and what I think the interest rates are going to be doing over this next year, and the supply. So some good things there. Go to our facebook.com/Jesse Terrero Broker for that. This is something that it's always amazed me. Where do our cliches come from? You know, you've heard the term piss poor, or I had no idea it comes from this. Fascinating stuff. Well, this is where they actually came from. And these lessons of history can teach you lots of stuff. In terms of where our cliches came from. They used to use urine to tan animal skins. So family used to all pee in a pot. Once a day, it was taken and sold to the tannery. Now, if you had to do this to survive, you were piss poor. But worse than that, there were folks that were really poor folks who couldn't even afford to buy a pot. So the cliche came out, they didn't have a pot to piss in and were considered very, very poor. Many people got married in June because they took their yearly bath in May and they still smelled pretty good by June. However, since they were starting to smell, brides carried a bouquet of flowers to hide the body odor. Hence the custom today of carrying a bouquet when you get married. Baths consisted of a big tub filled with hot water. The man of the house had the privilege of the nice clean water, then all the sons and men, then the women, and finally the children, last of all, the little babies. By then, the water was so dirty, you could actually lose someone in it. Hence the saying came, don't throw the baby out with the bath water. Houses had thatched roofs with thick straw piled high and no wood underneath. It was the only place for animals to get warm and cold days, nights. So all the cats and other small animals, mice and bugs and rats too, lived in the roof. When it rained, it became so slippery and sometimes the animals would slip off and fall off the roof. Hence the saying came, it's raining cats and dogs. There was nothing to stop things from falling into the house. This posed a real problem in the bedroom where the bugs and other droppings could mess up your nice clean bed. Hence, a bed with big posts and a sheet hung over the top afforded some protection. That's how canopy beds came into existence. All the floors were dirt, except for the wealthy. They had something other than dirt, maybe marble or stone. Hence, most everybody was known as dirt poor. The wealthy had slate or marble or stone floors that would get really slippery in the winter. When they got wet, it was like slip and slide. So they spread thresh, that's straw, on the floor to help keep their footing. As the winter wore on, they added more thresh or straw until when you opened the door, it would all start slipping outside. So they developed a piece of wood was placed in the entranceway, okay? Hence, a threshold. So when you walk into a front door of a house, you'll see that brass plate or that metal plate or that wood plate at the bottom of the front door. That's called a threshold. Now you know where that came from. In the old days, they cooked in the kitchen with big kettles that always hung over the fire. Now, every day, they lit the fire and added things to the pot. They ate mostly vegetables and did not get much meat. They would eat the stew for dinner, leaving leftovers in the pot to get cold overnight and then start over the next day. So you can picture that. Sometimes stew had food in it that had been there for quite a while. Hence the rhyme, peas porridge, hot peas porridge, cold peas porridge in the pot 9 days old. Sometimes they could obtain pork, which made them feel very special. Okay? When visitors came over, they used to hang their bacon to show off that they were successful to their visitors. It was a sign of wealth that a man could bring home the bacon. Yeah, really. They would cut off a little to share with the guests and would all sit around and chew the fat. That's where bring home the bacon, and chew the fat came from. This is one of my favorites. This is definitely one of my favorites. Those with money had plates made of pewter. Food with high acid content caused some of the lead to leach onto the food, causing lead poisoning death. This happened most often with tomatoes. So for the next 400 years or so, tomatoes were considered poisonous. They didn't understand about the pewter and the lead. Bread was divided according to status. Workers got the burnt bottom of the loaf. The family got the middle and the guests got the top. Thus came the concept, the upper crust. Now remember I talked about those lead cups they used to drink ale or whiskey out of? The combination would sometimes knock the embitters out would sometimes knock the drinkers out for a couple of days. Now someone walking along the road would take them for dead and prepare them for burial. They were laid out on the kitchen table in a house for a couple of days, and the family would gather around and eat and drink as normal and wait and see if they would wake up. Hence the custom of holding a wake. Now, this is one of the last ones I'll go real quick. In old small villages, local folks started running out of places to bury people, so they would dig up coffins and would take the bones to a bone house and reuse the grave. When opening the coffins, 1 out of 25 coffins were found to have scratch marks on the inside, and they realized they had been burying people alive. So they would tie a string on the wrist of the corpse, put it in the coffin, dump it in the ground, and up through the ground the string would come and be tied to a bell. Someone would have to sit out in the graveyard all night, the graveyard shift, to listen for the bell. Thus someone could be saved by the bell, or was considered a dead ringer. Whoever said cliches were boring? This is the Jesse T Show. The Brown Beauty is on duty, of course. The Jesse T Show, Monday through Friday, right here from 5 to 6 every day. Tomorrow and Friday, we move into Fun Time Friday and Thunderific Thursday. You've entered the world according to Ruro. Now we let you go. You are straight on the point. The Brown Beauty's off duty. See ya.